Wait a minute. I just placed a building that does medium ground pollution over top of an aquifer where I also placed a pumping station. Hey guys, Wheatywaffle here today, and we are back in City Skylines 2 playing our beautiful city of Lethe. She's just really coming together. She's looking so nice. We have a few changes I made in between parts, mainly some detailing. You'll already notice right off the bat, all of this shoreline here is now sand, and then I did a ton of detailing here in between parts in this area. Now, I did all my detailing in a time lapse, but I know that that's not everyone's favorite. So there's going to be an extra video coming out tomorrow. It's like 15 minutes or so of just me doing a voiceover as I do some detailing. So if you want to watch that, it'll be up tomorrow. But for now, this here is our brand new detailed area of Capital City. So what I'm going to do, I downloaded the Time and Weather Anarchy mod, and I'm going to change the season to summer. Let's see how this works. All this snow is going to start to melt, and you'll get to see what this looks like without snow. So I covered this whole edge here in some sand just to give this a little bit of a nicer appeal. I think it just also fits well with when you're down at the street level, like these houses being next to some sandy beach, I think is beautiful. And you get the city view up here, but then you can also just enjoy the water. I'm kind of waiting for the snow to begin to melt, which it looks like it may be doing on this tree here. Yeah, it's slowly beginning to melt, so I'll get to show you what I did. But essentially, I wanted to go through and give this area just a little bit more detail. So as we're waiting for it to melt, I guess I'll start over here. We have got this beautiful area here now. This section was so small, I could have filled it with parking, but I just felt like it needed a little bit more detail than that. So I went in, I added some planter boxes as well as some palm trees all the way along this edge in front of our Capital City Harbor. I added some concrete barriers here so that we could protect the folks who are walking along this walkway. I put in some benches, some paths, which I love just seeing people use these different paths to get to the train station, or excuse me, the cargo harbor. And then I added in just a bunch of random benches and chairs, some food stalls. Nothing super crazy here. I just love seeing all the people. I came over here. I redid this area so that this road used to come up and swoop really far in and then reconnect. I just sent that over so it was a straight line here so we could add in some parking for this area. I added some parking behind both of these buildings here and then some trees to kind of fill in this block. And then over here, I put in a soccer field with a parking lot as well as a basketball court. I added the playground to the back of the school. And then in this area, I created, get out of the way of that helicopter, I created this little fountain area. Okay, the helicopter just keeps following me. Go away. I created this fountain area, which I think is beautiful, and filled in this area with pavement. And then over here, I added in a skate park as well as some just general foliage. Some trees as well. I made another little plaza here for eating, and I put a city gym in here. And then I just filled in some trees, and I put in some gazebos as well as a fountain. And then I snuck in some tents over here, like it's a little homeless encampment. I think we've addressed the homeless problem, but if there are any homeless people in our city, they are welcome to live in these tents until they find a home. It's not great, but it's something. What else? I think that's mainly it. I just did a lot of detailing in this one little section here. I changed it to summer just so that we could see this beautiful area, but I'm going to leave it on summer for now just because I like playing with without the snow. What I want to do today is a few things. I want to start building out some suburbs. We have a huge demand for low density residential, and I've not been able to address it yet. So I think we need to build some suburbs over around our airport. But to start, I want to make a change to this area of our trains. So we're going to go ahead and just pause because I don't want to mess anything up too severely. I'm going to bring this train track back all the way to here, I think. Maybe even further than that. Let's just bring all this back. So what I'm thinking is I would like to have, let's go to our terraforming. I would like to have this train line here coming out of our cargo station cross directly over the top of this train line here. And to do that, I'm going to need to do a little bit of terraforming to bring this train line a little bit further down. So I think what I would like to do, grab this level, and I think we just bring this here, right? Maybe we even bring this back one more. We'll bring this along, and then we're going to use the slope tool to go from here to here and send that on up. Great. And then we'll also use the slope tool from here to here. And I want to get the train line to be right along the back here of Fawn Street. So let's see if we can make that happen. If I grab this tool here, and really, let's do it like this. Let's come from here and get it lined up behind the back of Fawn Street as much as possible. And then for this section, we'll just do a slight little curve to get these to connect up nicely. And what's that grade? Ooh, it's 7 degrees, but we're gonna go with it because I have a vision here. So now that we have that connected up, I think I want to slope this here and slope this here. So let's try to get those two connected in. We could bring this straight on out and over, like so. And then I think we could just bring this one from here. Let's go right into the center area and then try to curve it in. Fantastic. So that's all now reconnected as it should be. And then we can go ahead and connect these two together again because there's no reason for this to be messed up. Am I going to be able to make that work? I don't know if I can. How much gets deleted if let's delete that. Yeah, let's do that. Send this out straight to here. Give her a nice sweeping curve. A little bit of a grade change, but nothing too drastic. That could be better, but we'll live with it for now. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to get this exit from our cargo harbor to cross over these train tracks. So let's see if we can make this a reality. Do I want to use a no, let's use a two-way train track. Let's change our elevations and let's go ahead and give this just a slight elevation to here. Now, we're going to have to say goodbye to these homes. They got to move. This is going to have a double train crossing, but I do want to try as much as possible to keep the cargo separate from the passenger, which means we've got to do a little bit of zhuzh. All right, let's see if we can ditch both of those. Can we stick in just a tiny little roundabout? Not without messing up that house, but I guess I'm okay with that. We'll go ahead and just slap down some new homes here. Let's remove those two because they're so close to the train. And now we've got a cargo line that goes that way. I also need to get this cargo line reconnected up to the main train network. And I think we can do that if we were to go from here to here and go like this. Yep. And we know the trains can go backwards. So I'm going to go ahead and take... Not that. I'm going to go ahead and take this, bring it along this way, curve it here, and then let's just get it to clock right in at a 180 angle. Okay, perfect. So now let's go ahead and smooth all this out because this looks a little crazy. I think we're going to leave it like that. That's fine. So we've got a nice sweeping curve coming out of this cargo hub and turning around and going this direction where it then begins to go downhill. I do think I would like to switch this up a little bit. Let's back up this straight section that we built. Wrong buttons. Okay, it's hard because my microphone covers exactly where I need to see. So it makes it hard to see what I'm doing. Okay, let's use this guy, reduce the strength here. Get that to about level there. I like that. And then we're going to use the slope tool to go from here over to here. Get us a nice even slope all the way along. Bring in our 1-lane bidirectional road straight on down to here. Could just be straight. Doesn't need to have all these extra doodads on it. Now, what's on each side? Is it elevated? No, we want it to be on the ground. Yes, just like that. Okay, so then we get in here. We can smooth all of this out. Make this look a whole lot better. Let's make this a little bit larger. Let's also make it way stronger. And then just go ahead and smooth this whole section and kind of make this like a almost like a natural levee that's holding up that train. I actually like seeing the dirt on that, so I am fine with that. So now we've got a train line that goes this direction. What we want to do is get it across this river. Ooh, it's going to need to be much taller to cross over this. But you know what? As we recall, this shipping lane is not real because it's only to get the ferries that we have over here. It's not actually a real ferry network. So let's do it backwards. Let's go from here. Get this to kind of line up there. This is going to be on the ground over here. Send it straight across and in. Or send it so that it's pretty flat. I'll take 2, and then we'll go down from here. What's the crazy grade on this guy? -6, -5. You're going straight, so I'm fine with that. It does give us this double track again, so I think that I'm going to remove the housing that's here just because you're not going to want to live in between two sets of train tracks. I just think that's a little ridiculous. And I kind of want to maybe take this a step further and even expand this track a bit. Maybe we go a bit further up to here. And then we give this just like a little curve kind of into this section. Yeah. Just make that a bit more of a set of train tracks. All right, Anarchy's on again because I keep forgetting to do that. I guess this could have actually gone over the top. Let's try that. Turn off Anarchy, bulldoze. Turn Anarchy back off. Go back to here. Go here. We want to get it essentially to the same height. Okay. If I turn, we know it crosses this road, and we know the only thing stopping us from making this happen is the boats. So let's turn the boats off. Give me that 180. Then bring this straight on over and connect it right up and in. Bring it down to the ground level right there. And, oh yeah, -0.7. That's a much better way of doing that. Okay, so now we've got another kind of train corridor going over here, but that gives us the option to connect this train line into this section. So let's see what we've got going on terraforming-wise. I want to connect it right about here. So I want to go from here to here, and we're going to go ahead and just do this curve. Just like that, and then we will terraform around and smooth all this out once we get this reconnected up. All right, so this, I'm actually just gonna go and do one big curve, I think. If I go out further, is that what I want? Not necessarily. I think I do need to go straight just a bit. So we'll go to there. Now we'll do this curve. Just like that. Okay. Smooth. Smooth, 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 smooth. Get this to look a bit nicer. Oh, yes. All right, and then I also want to do one more track going the opposite direction. So we'll have one that goes from here and curves itself into there. Okay, So now we've got, I'm going to unpause. We've got another set of train lines. This is starting to look a little crazy, but that's kind of the beauty of trains. We need a lot of space to get them to work. Let's go ahead and give this another cargo connection. So we're going to go from here. Let's also make the color, we'll make this one orange, I think. Yeah, just like that. Okay, we're going to go from there. We're going to bring this connection straight on in here. And then we're going to send it right back over. That way, all the cargo that's being delivered from external sources to this cargo hub can then be diverted and sent out of our district if we need to. I love it. All right, so one thing I'm here to address today is the need for more low-density residential. Let's get a sense of noise. Honestly, the noise is not terrible. We have noise on the highway, which is to be expected, but I think we could absolutely put some houses here as well as over here and be just fine. So let's spend some time doing a little bit of road work. Let's get rid of this info view. I think we've got clear areas where we would want to build. So one, I would want to build kind of along this ridge here. So let's send this out straight, send it out straight a little bit more. I think here we'll curve to here. And we'll go ahead and just do a little curve along this way. And we're just going to give ourselves kind of a border to work with. I think back here is going to be a little neighborhood. So let's go ahead and do 120. Bring it out. I don't know, 360 sounds nice. We'll put a connection there. We'll put a connection here. And I'm not thinking these are going to be anything grand. I'm going to purposefully put the zoning close to each other so that we get as much zoning as possible in this section. I mean, while we're down here, we might as well make this area pretty flat or pretty gridded. How long is that? That's 120. Okay, let's do another 120. Let's bring it over to 40. Connect that in at the 90. Bring this straight on over. Bring that straight on down. Then the question is, do we do something like this where we go from here to the diagonal? It's goofy, but why not? Keep that at a diagonal, and then here we're going to curve it so that we're keeping the zoning just out of the reach of the highway, because I don't want to get too aggressive with this highway. And I want to be able to have large houses over here that are not intersecting too much or not overlapping too much with the highway itself. Okay, this will come straight down to here. This will come straight on down to here. I also need to get over to here. So I'm thinking what we want to do is start taking some of these roads. And this might be kind of the wrong space to do that because we're already fighting an uphill, literally an uphill battle. But if I were to get this to go to here, could we cross over that? No. All right, so I think what has to happen is we revisit this portion of High Street. For now, get this to come to here. 7.5. Cross over the highway. I know you can do it. There we go. Then get you to come back down to ground level. Right there. There's one bridge. I think another great bridge could be right here. I mean, if I were just to go to 7.5, what's that look like? No, the slope is too steep. All right, so again, sorry, High Street. You're going to come back in a serious way, but it's not yet. Let's get this to curve to this point where we start to go up some. Then we cross over, straight line. Bring it back down. I mean, right there is a connection. I think that's great. So now we have 2 additional connections here going over this direction. And then we also have this bridge here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, essentially 4 5 bridges crossing and connecting these 2 sections. So now with that, there's no way we can get these 2 to connect. But what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we had to come in here, we had to put this road in, and then we had to break apart this section of High Street. And in fact, it now makes me want to kind of rework all of that. I like this idea, though, that this road was here. As the suburbs expanded, we had to remove the connections between some of these roads. Let's do a 90 to 90. I mean, what's the grade change here? 6.9? Let's just do it. Just do it. Not a big deal. And I think I even want to do maybe like a little alleyway right here. Just to do some additional zoning. Bring this to here. Then we're going to give it a little bit of a curve. Connect it in. Now let's think about whether or not we want to change any of this around. I do think I wouldn't mind having this area be an avenue. Just because this is going to be essentially this major thoroughfare. Then at this point it can become much more residential and more suburban. Over here we've got a lot of things to be conscious of in terms of grade. And I think most of this we can't even build on. The flat section doesn't actually exist because that is all airport. So this here is going to go to here, and then we're going to do this curve and connect that straight on up and in. Let's bring this connection straight on in. And then I think we could get away with this connection here at the 90. Let's leave that somewhat open close to the highway, but here we'll place in an extra connection. We'll leave that, I think, just like that. And then we do have this area as well. So what I would like to do is maybe from here, take a road straight on out, and then let's put on continuous. And just kind of create a connection that looks decent. That is so strange, but we're going to do it. It's strange, and it's also a cul-de-sac, which we don't want that to be a cul-de-sac. We only have one entrance. So that means we've got to sneak in another way to get out of here, which I think could be right back here. We come out straight from... Oh, wait. I wanted to curve that. We come out straight from here, and we curve it in. Where's the first point we can connect? That is just weird. That's just weird. I don't like that. Go with the 90, curve that in here, and then this could come straight on in like so. So now it's no longer a cul-de-sac. Much better. And then let's leave that open. That might be a high school or something. We'll have to find out in a second. Okay, so now we've got a decent road network here. I haven't done anything on this side, but let's go ahead and start giving this a little bit of zoning. But first, before we do any zoning, let's do some districts. Now we have 3 new districts. The airport district will definitely eventually shift, I think, in its size, but for now, it looks pretty good. So what I want to do next is I want to figure out what's going where. And to do that, I want to start by looking at our air. The air is going this direction, which is actually perfect. I'm thinking that this section here could be a great area to have some industrial. It's really close to the airport, and it could be a pretty small section of industrial that I think will fit really nice. So let's do some industry all through this area. I don't think we're going to need a ton. Like, this might tank any demand that we have. And we could also consider building out the postal service guy. I don't even know where that lives. Oh, here we go. The postal sorting facility. Although I do believe that from what I've read, this doesn't actually work, which sucks, but That's okay. Let's place this in here along this bridged road. And then we're going to use that to help define where this road goes. Okay, so then this road is going to go from here up to here, curve along the back of that road, and connect straight in. I kind of like that it has a retaining wall, because here's what I'm thinking. Let's see if this works. If I give a retaining wall to this section as well, and I give a retaining wall to that section as well, can I take this land? Let's make this much smaller. Let's just see if proof of concept works. If I bring this straight on over, it does work. Okay, so let's make this a little bit larger. We could make this a retaining wall that holds back all of this dirt. And likewise, we could put a retaining wall along this section of the highway. Okay, hold on. Yes. Now, we do have a strange little moment here that I don't love. I'm wondering if I just use a little move it, if we can make that go away, or can I like increase this height just enough? No, it doesn't work. Okay, what if I bring it back? That's a different thing entirely. See, because it's two retaining walls conflicting, and that's what's causing the problem. All right, hold on. We can rotate that over this direction. It gives it an extra curve, but I think that works okay. Now, I have remade this to a cul-de-sac, and it's also just making me think I want to change this whole section. So, sorry, everyone who moved in over here. From a business perspective, I'm actually shifting up what we're doing, so all of you gotta go. I think we rotate this as well out and just send this out straight now that we've got a new facility over here. So we're gonna go from here straight on down and into this section. Then we build off of this road, and it's no longer going to be considered a cul-de-sac. So let's bring a road, because this is industrial. Let's bring a road right up to the edge here. I have no issue with them being super close to either the highway or to the other road. What can we do here? That connects into the exit, which we don't want. Let's just do it just like that. I just love, okay, I'm going to just like praise some aspects of this game. One, I've been having so much fun playing this recently, and I think just it's so much more stabilized, and there's so much more to do as some of these mods are coming out, like this weather mod. But the fact that this road can just sit so nicely under this exit, and you got beautiful shadows. I mean, it's just so fun. Okay, we've now got a really decent connection here. I'm half tempted to also build a square here right up until the edge. Like, why not? It's a lot of intersections, but that's okay. It's just like, it's an industrial spot. It would make sense for that to be a little bit different. And I'm already thinking this maybe becomes a separate district in of itself. But first, let's go ahead and try to address some of this demand. So I would like to avoid this aquifer as much as possible. So we're going to place our industrial in this cell to start. Over here where we have the aquifer, I think we need to think about city services for this whole section. So let's first just check again, power and water and sewage all look good. I think this neighborhood though could enjoy like a small water tower, and that would look very fun. Or we could do a underground pumping station right over here and pump water from this area. Underground reservoir usage. If I put it anywhere else, hold on. I just had another thought. Wait a second. Can this just cross over here? What slope? There is no slope. If I got rid of both of these, there's the edge of that building, or edge of that plane. I keep saying plane station. Why is that stuck in my brain? It is an airport. It is not a plane station. Walnut crust. That's fine. So we've got a little bit more industrial here. Let's go ahead and fill in this one with industrial. And while we're at it, let's fill in this one, this one, this one, this one. I think we could get away with industrial along here. At which point, I think we are going to do some low density offices. I'm going to save this for a parking facility. We'll fill all of this in with low density offices. We're going to leave this section blank. This could be some low density commercial. And I think that this could also be some low density office if we wanted. Okay, let's place in a nice parking lot. Too small. Not right. Literally the perfect size. What's invalid? Oh, that anarchy piece? That's fine. We will anarchy this, and that is the perfect size parking lot for that. That never happens. So now we have this new industrial area called Walnut Crest, and that's tucked away from all the people. And because of the way our wind is blowing, we can put people back here just fine and not have to worry about anything. Things are loading as boxes, and then they're loading in, which is interesting. I wonder if that's just because we have 142,000 people. All right, before we do any zoning, I got distracted, but we got to do services first because there are certain neighborhoods where we really lack in services. So I think this area will get a small medical clinic. Sunset Heights is not the largest neighborhood, so I don't think it needs anything super crazy. And I think that this road here, Brook Street, is going to be our main street. So let's mark that by giving Brook Street the main section of Brook Street at least. Trees and grass. That's how we're going to know this is the main street. Okay, now we're just going to kind of work through each of these different things that we need. Let's go ahead and place down this clinic. I think we'll place it right here. I would love to have another cemetery. All right, let's get rid of this portion of fawn. And honestly, the more and more we edit this, the less and less necessary this feels, but we're going to keep it because it is a remnant before the highway was built. Let's see if we can do this. If that stayed there, could that just go in at a 90? No. So I don't actually know if we're going to keep this at all. Because what I'm thinking instead is if we don't have anything there, let's place this along this road. It's a nice flat area too. And then what we could do, because this just ended up lining up really well, we could send this straight on out from here and send it straight along the back, which then allows for this connection to take place. And it just gives us a bit more connectivity throughout everything. Yeah. And that's in Sunset? Okay, perfect. Okay. Do we want to add any expansions to this? What do we have? We have a temple, small place of reverence, provides increased well-being. Oh, it attaches. We will add a temple. I think we will. So it's separate from, but it's definitely close by. Columbarium, a set of walls for storing the cremated remains of the deceased. Again, this is another attachment. The problem is we didn't really leave ourselves a lot of room for these types of buildings. I didn't even know this building existed. And then we also have the mausoleum, which is a memorial tomb for a person of importance. The cemetery becomes a sightseeing attraction. Yeah, why not? We'll place it right there. And that's good because then it connects into it. Oh, I like that. Now, if this is a sightseeing attraction, we have some parking here. I wonder, though, if the church would like to have its own dedicated parking lot. And we could place it just on the other side of this road here. It doesn't need to be anything too large. Better yet, I think we place it right behind the church. And then we will use move it just to kind of rotate it a little bit because I would like it to kind of line up here If I pulled it back to here, would it work? It does. Yeah, I like that much better because then it feels connected to the church itself. Okay. Or the temple, excuse me. Okay, that's great. So we've got death care. We've got health care. We may want to consider some garbage. And actually, now that we have this area, I do think we're going to be somewhat limited in what can be built here because of the the pathway of the plains. But let's go ahead and place this here, and for now, place a small road right on up. We were originally going to place a water pumping station, so I think we can still do that. We'll place it off of the main road a bit. So now we have a water pumping station. We don't need to be pumping more water, but just in case we ever do. And can we upgrade that? Extra pump? Why not? Filter? Yeah, why not? We got the money. Let's do it. Okay. Then we are going to go back to garbage, incineration, recycling center. I wouldn't mind a recycling center. Invalid shape, but the invalid shape is coming from that anarchy piece. I almost am half tempted to say screw that piece, but we're not going to. Now, I'm placing this here. Is it close? Yes, but look how low of a building this is. It's so small that I think because of this, what it does and what purpose it serves, I don't think that's a big deal at all. We could give it extra truck depot, which I would like to do. Hazardous waste collection point. Wait a minute. I just placed a building that does medium ground pollution over top of an aquifer where I also placed a pumping station. Because we don't need the water, let's get rid of that. I think what I would rather have is this extra facility because we do need it. I know it means that we're going to be losing this aquifer, but let's not act like that's ever stopped me before. I want to rotate this to face this way. It's not intersecting with the path of the airplanes. It's just intersecting with that anarchy road. So we'll place it here. Again, it's nice and low. It almost kind of looks like another like hangar or something. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And then let's go ahead and give it this hazardous waste facility. Could we fit two? No, we can only fit one. All right, well, it has a hazardous waste facility and then extra storage. Turn off anarchy here. We could place extra storage along the back. It's intersecting with that little road. But if we do that, yeah, it looks like it's an extension almost of the airport. But as I'm doing it, guys, I'd rather put that over here. I would rather this move to here, have this really nice recycling facility just kind of off to the side. What are you intersecting with? You're intersecting with that road even though you're not touching that road? Okay. This road has to go. It has to go. It's causing way too many problems for what it is. Now we've got this huge new recycling center, which is awesome. Is that on the aquifer? It's not on the aquifer anymore. Okay. Okay. With that moved over, we are getting this pumping station back. It's going to be right there in the center. It's super low. Not a concern for the airport. Let's bring that out a little bit further. I want a tiny little roundabout. Boom. All right. That's amazing. I'm loving how that sits. Okay, so now we've got a postal sorting facility, which is great because it's so close to the airport. It is completely full though. It's processing or sorting 58,500 pieces of mail per month. And it only has the ability to sort up to 50,000. So how do we increase the sorting? This increases storage, which would perfectly fit right here. And we're nearing having full storage, so that's better. This here, automated sorting. Okay, this increases our sorting speed, but it's already, I think this is part of where it comes in where people say it's broken. Increased space allows for more mail trucks to run. Vehicles and use 0 of 5. I need more ways to increase the sorting. But I guess I can't do that. All right, well, we're going to leave it just like that. That looks pretty nice. Okay, so now we've got this like little industrial side here. Let's get back to what we were doing down here. So we've dealt with trash. We are going to need an elementary school over in this area, but I wouldn't mind doing a small elementary school. Does how many? 400 students. Let's do a little small elementary school. We'll do it right back over here along this road. What kind of upgrades do you have? You can get an extension wing, which if I could place the extension wing along the road. Don't snap to the side of the buildings. Yes, right there. And then you also could get a gymnasium, which I don't think I would mind a gymnasium. It fits really nicely right there, so let's do that. It's a little bit away, but I'm also thinking, you know what, this is kind of like a community center. It is a gymnasium for the school, but it also is going to serve as this area's community center. So we're going to face it along this road so you can come over and walk up and in. And then the sports fields are really close to the... Where do we place it here? Yeah, I think that's what we do. Now, I know it's a small elementary school, but there's no... Oh, hold on. This only works in Sunset District. This is a neighborhood specific elementary school. Do not start sending your kids over here. They will be turned away. Beautiful. We also are going to need a high school over here. I am going to use the small high school. I think the high school could potentially be a bit more centrally located between these two districts, but for now, let's place the high school along this road. Does the high school have any expansions? It has a high school sports park, way too large for this district, and an extension wing, which is placed as a separate building. And for now, we're not going to place that. Let's select this as our operating district. I don't think that's ever going to fill up. This has some parking, and this has some parking, so both of those are fine. Do you need any expansions? You can't have any. You're also going to function here in Walnut and Airport. Okay, now we got to do some fire. We can just use a small little firehouse. I think I want the firehouse along the main road just because I think that's where this would be in a neighborhood like this. It'll be the first building you see. And we could give it more space for fire engines, but for now, we're going to leave it alone. This is going to function inside of these districts. And then I also want to place one of these fire watch towers, just because we've got a lot of trees over here. This is one of the highest points. So there's the little cable there. That's not very tall, so that's not an issue there. But that covers a huge swath here of this area. And then we've got an accident over there, so I hope they figure that out. Let's now move on to police. We will do a small police station. The police station, again, on the main road. I think this is going to be right across the street from the high school. We can't do any upgrades to it, but it will service autosave, Sunset, Walnut, Airport, and whatever this guy is. Primrose. Primrose Everdeen. We will need to come in and do some public transit. We can deal with that in a bit. But I would like to go ahead and do a park maintenance building over here because the closest one... Oh no, there's one right there. But let's place one... Oop, wrong button. Let's place one in here as well. On this side of the little industrial district. And we could also increase space to store more vehicles. Let's do that because we have a lot of parks in this city. So if we could get some more vehicles, that'll be great. And then this is supply storage, which increases the storage. Great. So it's a pretty large facility, but again, tons of parks that we've got all over the city. Only thing that's left would be telecoms, which I will admit, I kind of forget to do telecoms. So let's just get on that real quick. We're going to place a telecom tower over here. Could we squeeze it back here? No, but we could probably fit a radio mast back here. So we will place one there. I will place a second one over here at the end of that road. And then I wouldn't mind a full-on radio mast somewhere. And I think we could place this kind of in the heart of the downtown because there's already so much height over there. You don't even notice it, to be real. Then if I come over this way, we can see that we really have nothing over here. And if we did the tall one, it might conflict with the airport. So I do think we have to think about keeping this pretty small. We'll place this on one of these back roads that have a dead end. So that covers that area pretty nicely. And I think that's enough for now. Server farm. Rows and banks of raw computing power provide immense resource to handle network traffic. Can be upgraded with fiber optic cables and advanced computers. Oh yeah, you know what? I forgot that we could upgrade these as well. Bandwidth increase. An antenna extension that increases the network coverage in the area. We'll do that as well. And then for this one, let's grab this big one we placed. That doesn't have any upgrades. Not a big deal. This one, though, I think we'll give both upgrades to. And then this one, which is super close to the other one. But I think by giving both of those upgrades, that area is going to be nice and green. It's exactly what we want for the capital city. Okay. Are all of these upgraded now that I think about it? No. So let's go ahead and upgrade all of those. We've got communications done. I didn't really place any parks. We did the park maintenance building, and then I moved right fresh on. So let's place... I would love some kind of sports facility if we could squeeze it in. This is relatively flat over here. We've got a football stadium and a soccer field. I would prefer the soccer field. I would prefer the soccer field. I almost want to see if we can place a road right here. Can I squeeze in 2 soccer fields? That would need to scoot over. No, we really can't. It just doesn't fit. But if we got rid of this road, we could definitely fit 2 soccer fields. Which I just like having both of them next to each other. Like that just seems like a great use of this little space. Let's give this guy a roundabout with a tree. And I think that because there's no dedicated parking for either field, I think there needs to be a parking lot right across the street from one of these guys. That might be overkill, but I think we'll leave it. I think we'll leave it. All right, so now let's go ahead and do some of this zoning. So I'm going to start off with placing some commercial zoning along the remainder of Brook Street, which is our central road to our downtown, although all the buildings are facing the other direction. So hold on. Let's solve that problem real quick. And I want them to be different heights. And actually, I would rather them be high density, I think. If we were to go like this, okay, that gives me a twofer. What if I do something like that? No. We'll see if that's too large. Actually, I can tell right now with the height. No, actually, that's kind of perfect. All right, let's do another. Let's do a 3x4. I don't think there's such a thing as a 3x3, but oh no, there's a 3x2. Then we'll do one that's a bit longer. Then we'll do something like this. Actually, I wouldn't mind a double there, and then we could also do a 2 for there. We could even entertain doing... No, that's too high. Too high. No, 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 no. That can be just a small little office building. If it's an office building at all. Okay. Let's get rid of this extra zoning we didn't use. I like that. I like that. I think behind both of these, we could do a nice little pathway. Let's... get rid of this one, I believe. Yes. And we can just send this path right on through. This can connect right on into here. This path can also come right on through. And then we can remove all of that zoning. Yeah, I like that. All right, so now let's just go in. We still have some commercial demand, and I'm still on pause. Let's go ahead and do a little bit more commercial zoning here. And then I think what we'll do, let's fix this set of zoning here. And then what we can do is put in some offices. We'll just do 2 large guys. I think that's great. Now we're going to do a ton of European style, residential, low density. Fill it in. Well, as this area has been building out, the elementary school caught on fire. And we unlocked another building. But where is the... Hello? Yeah? Put the new elementary school out. Don't let it burn down. We need this facility. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. The windows are blowing out. Okay. Whew. All right, so we unlocked a new building, and we got a little bit closer to level 18. We only have, if I recall, milestones. We only have 3 left to achieve, so we're slowly getting there. We are going to look into some different things we can purchase with our points in the next part, but for now, this is the new neighborhood of Sunset Heights, which also includes Walnut Crest, and a brand new connection for our trains to go over, which I've been seeing so many use this. It's actually fantastic. Any luck with you guys getting your stuff together? No, you can't sort fast enough. I probably should build more of these, but for now, that will do. And I will say, we don't have any post offices in this area. So let's go ahead and place a post office here along Brook Street. And we'll place a post box over there, as well as a post box by our high density building. And we'll place one over here by the church. Okay, so now I think for this part, that's what we're going to call it. I love that we have this brand new neighborhood. We have how many people in here? 1,024 residents. 300 of them are children, which is perfect for both our elementary and for our high school. And how's our clinic doing? She's doing all right. So I'm really pumped about that. I think that looks great. We're now at the point in the game where even though we built all that and I tried to address the low density demand, it didn't actually address anything. What's going on over there? Traffic accident. One thing we'll have to think about in the future is how do we get this passenger train line to get through these farms and somehow over into this area? And then how do we get it to connect into this? I think we can easily connect it into this passenger line by extending this new track that we've created over the river as well. And it could go alongside the cargo line, send it up, and then somehow figure out how to get it into here. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out together. But for now, we've got a brand new neighborhood in our city. We're starting to expand our city limits, and we're just moving right along. So guys, thanks so much for watching, and let me know what you want to see in the next part in the comments below, and I will see you all in the next one.